Hello and welcome to another episode of the Not For Nothing podcast. Today we're kicking things off with our good friend and colleague, Roger, aka Ganja Guru.
Woo, woo, woo.
He is a content creator and a hemp farmer and a great guy all around. So
What's up,
happy to
guys?
have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you
just
for
a
joining
great
us.
day already.
Indeed it is.
Most importantly, Roger is a frequent sesher with us. And we've experienced a lot of things together throughout, now we can say years.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen it pretty much all types of people and energies that come in and out of different spaces. And there's one phenomena that we have lived viscerally.
Shared experience.
Shared
for sure.
experience is the Sesh vampire.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So,
Roger,
yeah.
we almost brought like a garlic necklace for you to wear. Like we were gonna like string it together like a lei
Okay.
so that you could like be protected from the Sesh vampire.
I definitely would have infused the garlic later on. But
Oh my God.
Ooh, garlic olive
and
oil.
see, I like the garlic vampire, but like I think that vampires are good. So like I wouldn't even want to like put the negative connotation of the person that ruins the sesh on a vampire because I
Oh.
like vampires. I
You
always
do?
call them the sesh monster. Yeah, if I could be any like
Interesting.
otherworldly, extraterrestrial, immortal thing, vampire me.
No way.
100%. Like 100%. Yeah, I would
He
be
said
bitten.
vamp life.
Yeah, vamp me. Like
Vampirefreaks.com.
yeah. Like ironically,
so
I had a
we
conversation
rebrand.
in the same seat about vampire sex.
Are you
before.
serious?
100%. 100%. Shout out to MJ and Cass, like Mike.
Really?
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
Wow,
think
that's crazy.
You don't like are vampires a no, a big for people?
I'm not afraid of them.
I'm not afraid of them. I just view them as like beings that like suck items or energy or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, True Blood, yes or no?
I've
Oh,
never
I True
watched.
Blooded.
I was a True Blood, like hard, but also
later, I recently True Blooded during the pandemic.
okay.
Should I
True Blood,
watch?
yes,
Yeah.
Is it scary?
absolutely. No,
Suck it.
yes, Suki.
Suck it.
Eggs, like I love True Blood, but I also did not like what's the other one?
Vampire Diaries?
No, the
I
other
didn't
one that
watch
was
that.
more
Twilight?
main- Twilight.
I didn't watch
do
that
Twilight,
either.
but like I love vampires. Like if someone came up, I mean, I always think back to Queen of the Damned, Aaliyah. Like if I had the opportunity to be a vampire, I would. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
I know,
that's
that's crazy.
wild.
Okay, so let's rebrand. It's the Sesh Monster.
Sesh Monster.
Sesh
The
100%.
only
Monster.
reason I was initially thinking about vampire
Thank
is
you.
because this specific person sucks the energy around
100%.
them. And somehow everybody else is losing steam and energy and stamina. And this person is just getting fueled.
Yes.
Just getting
Yes.
stronger and more powerful and more loud
Yeah.
and more annoying and aggro.
I agree. It's not that I don't agree with the context. Like I just
Oh, yeah,
am
totally.
partial.
We're
It's a
renaming
monster
it.
vampire.
It's a monster vampire. Like
Yeah.
it's a vampire villain. If you will.
Totally.
Because I feel like there's a rhythm to a sesh.
Mhm.
You know, there's the initial energy when everybody arrives. It's like high energy. Then there's like the first roll up where everybody gets like extra zooted.
Totally.
Then there's like everybody gets kind of munchy. And then there's always this lull time where everybody's
Mhm.
just like, let me just read my messages,
Yep.
figure out
Dissociate
what
a
I'm gonna
bit.
do next. Let me answer this email really quick.
Mhm.
But this person doesn't take that 10 minutes.
No, they
No,
never
no.
take that time. It's always a conversation, like just to have a conversation. Like they
Right,
want to
small
hear
talk.
themselves talk all the time. Especially like when it's like, I'm gonna ask a question that I know the answer to, and I'm gonna answer that question that I already that had no point in being asked.
Totally a pointless conversation.
Like the definition of pointless conversation. And I think that especially us now, like most of our sessions are pretty cool because you never know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different possibilities of reality, but this one is like you can't even have like the Sesh vampire is always going to control it. The Sesh monster is going to control
Exactly.
it, and like now we can't even have our organic growth that is going to come out of nowhere because you're just focused on this person with the side eye. Like
And everybody else is sucked out of energy.
Mhm.
And no
Yeah.
one else can contribute anything.
yes,
And
because we're pretty chill in conversation. Like it's
Mhm.
not very like it can. I mean, it might go from like a 2 to a 5 is generally where our convo would be. But like if the Sesh monster is over there having a conversation at 7, I can't even be in this conversation because, like, why is it so loud?
It's
over there?
overstimulating.
Like,
It commands the room
Yeah.
Our
without
friend
a
Red
choice.
made fun of me because we went to a sesh last summer, and I was like, "Red, it's so loud in here." And he was like, "It's a party.
Yeah.
Get over it."
I've gotten there. Like, I've gotten to that like place where I was having events and someone was like, "Can you turn the music down?" And I'm
It
like,
was me.
It's a thing. But then I'm that person now that's like, okay, it's a little loud in here.
We're getting
Especially
old, guys.
when-
Like,
I think when the goal of the sesh is to be a little more of a healing moment,
yes.
a moment to regroup, a moment to catch up, because all of us, like, it's hard when your job is also social. So it's like you're seeing each other during the day, but you're not really like having the real conversations. You also can't always be honest about the conversations you're having
Yeah.
if a client is around or somebody who works with a client or something. And so these are precious moments.
Yeah. I think now that we're saying this, I think it is a unique problem to us because most people look at a sesh as their party moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
true.
we
or
don't
their
look-
relaxation.
Yeah, we don't. For us, it's like a sesh is therapy. Like, this is therapy, so we're going to be talking about work situations, life situations, all these things that are more like we want to have that communication. The cannabis is just a piece of it, like as opposed to like they're having their weed and their alcohol and their music and
Yeah.
everything is up. Like, for us, we want to, like, what have you been up to? I know I've seen
Right.
you at this, that, and the third, but
Yeah.
like, we don't get to engage at those times because those times are those high energy places. So when we can sit down in one of our places and have that joint moment, it's a little more relaxing for us. It's a bit more, like I said, therapeutic.
So I'm only
Right.
going to be calling smoking with friends group therapy
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
going forward
100%.
because it's so true.
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
like you said, those high frequency places are very low vibrational. So
Mhm.
it's very ironic that like you're like, okay, the music and the sound and everything else is like drowning out the feelings instead of confronting it.
100%.
So it's like, oh my God, like once everything quiets down and you're left there to have like a real conversation that isn't just small talk. It's not about the weather. It's not about anything. You're talking like really about what's going on.
Mhm.
What's, you're
Yep.
sharing moments together in a sesh. That's why I think it's could be more challenging to people who are going through it. So technically the sesh vampire could be the one hurting the most.
100%.
It's usually the sesh
100%.
vampire monster is usually the person hurting the most.
Right.
Who like
100%.
can't handle silence
Mhm.
Yes.
and needs to just feel everything.
That's why it's like no moment of everything is like ask question, answer question, because I want to be the problem and the solution.
Yep.
I need to have all that attention here because it's a journey and we're
Yeah.
not all healed just yet.
And it's
Totally.
not an identity that you wear permanently. Like
Oh, no.
Mhm.
I have been a sesh monster.
Yeah,
Sarah
absolutely.
was a sesh monster like an hour
Absolutely.
ago. I was literally
Wow, rude.
I
There
was
was only
rolling-
two of us.
Today.
I was rolling
Yeah,
up and she
rude.
was like,
I asked her
I
8
like-
questions,
I
but I
like
have
pickled
ADHD.
onion. Do you like pickled onion? I also like this on my bagel. Do you also like this on your bagel? Because I got this bit. And I was like, you literally have not let me just even hear the first question.
And answer,
Yeah.
And-
today,
But
even
it's
Yeah.
more
okay.
recent.
It happens to all of us.
It was the espresso beans.
Yeah.
It's what I told. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I just
I
became
got
so
it
crazy
honest.
from it.
That's
But I
hilarious.
think it's important to be self-aware. I think it's important to have garlic around in case the sesh monster vampire arrives.
Yeah.
And just remember, they can't come into the door unless you tell them they can.
That's facts.
So if you're
That's
seshing in your house, you could just not invite them in.
And it's okay to generally, I think one thing that I've learned, find ways to alert them because like, is it better to have that moment where you're uncomfortable for the whole sesh and they're comfortable, or for them to have this moment of growth and you to like, it might make them
It might
That's
make
true.
you more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I also think it's important to remember that contrary to how other people may react, weed will only make them stronger.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna help like
Mm-mm.
tone it down.
Mm-mm.
They feed off
They
of
feed
it.
off of it.
Well, so one of the funny things I was recently thinking about is like when Roger is sometimes known for like passing out in an intimate sesh.
Anytime.
When he feels safe,
Yeah.
when he's
I love
comfortable.
it. I love napping with friends
Mhm.
around.
Mhm.
But it's funny because you know there's a Sesh monster / vampire present when Roger is passed out in the corner.
That's the first flag. That's the first flag, because I'm generally really engaging. But if I get to a point where things are too much around me and I'm like, okay, there's nothing that I can do to contribute here anymore, I'm going to my safe space, which I can find anywhere. And then I'm just going to nap out. And I'm going to check in at multiple times. Like, I'm not, if you don't know me, you'll think I'm inebriated, like past repair. Like, but I can hear most things.
Chilling.
I'm just chilling. It's like, I was
feel
tired.
Like, what's your...
Yeah.
You're like the
but there's a Sesh vampire
you're
present.
Like the Sesh
you need to replenish
guider.
your blood.
They suck me dry.
Literally. It's like when you donate blood and they give you like an Oreo cookie and they're like, okay, like, just have this. You'll be okay in a few minutes. That's like...
This is not helping.
That's what it is. He checks in again 15 minutes later. Like,
and then I'll just be like,
yeah.
That was me. I was like...
That's literally what happened.
I
saw you wake up and you were like, oh, okay.
And I'm like, I will always try to be nice. Like, because I'll feel like,
same.
Okay, if someone else is my problem, I can make this a problem for everybody, or I can just say space.
And the last thing I ever want is for somebody who is kind of being their most extra self or whatever, to not feel like they can be that way.
Yes.
And that's not what these spaces are about.
Yes, I'm not here to police anybody's self-expression.
That's why I didn't want us to really like discuss it at the time, because I was like, I feel like that is mean girl energy to be like all snickering in a corner.
Yes.
I was just noticing to myself being like, wow,
this is draining.
Crazy
this
to
is draining.
watch.
No, that's 100%.
But in the same way, like that, I told Sarah right after, I was like, don't ask me this many questions. Like, it's just about
when you can address that person, or like at some point, that person that you're engaging with one-on-one or in a sesh, a person will become aware of your body language.
Yes.
And when this person is not like taking the time to be aware of anybody except for what they're putting out, you're a sesh monster.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So don't be a sesh monster.
Don't
try to bring some self-awareness to the sesh.
Yeah.
And then usually you'll be cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But it happens and it's okay.
It is okay.
Because I don't
just try not to do it in the future. It is draining for people.
With me. You can do it with your other friends. Just don't do it with me, because I'm like, you got one time with me, and then the next time I'm gonna let you know. It's not that I'm being rude, but like, I just want you to be aware of things that if you do want to keep doing this with me, this cannot happen like this. Like, you can't do all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Just to throw it into a totally different topic, but something that I've been thinking about. So I recently got back into playing Pokemon Go.
Okay.
And as nerdy as it is, it's just so fun. And it's a little bit distracting from everything out there in the world. And it's like a relatively free game. But it's like also, it's just fun. Like, it's cool because there's
walk me through the relatively free. What part is not free?
Well, like, you can pay to like, if you run out of something, like Pokeballs, or you can like earn them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I love a Pokeball too. It's so cute.
Oh my God, there's a Pokemon. I just got Pokemon because Sarah had it.
Yeah.
Pokeball.
Wait, does this mean there's somebody nearby?
No. Pokeball.
Okay.
Like throwing it, like a Pokeball.
I'm not hip to Pokemon. My last awareness of Pokemon is Pokemon cards in the 7th grade.
Wait, but are you speaking of Pokeballs?
That's what I was. I love a Pokeball.
Yes, I love that.
Also love that.
Okay,
as well, but very different.
Okay.
Yes.
My bad.
So anyway, in Pokemon, there is this character. Her name is I say her because the way they made, like, in Pokemon, it's like unidentified gendered species.
Well, does the binary exist in the Pokemon sphere?
Well, does it exist in Star Wars? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think so.
Does it exist in any world?
Exactly. Literally, that's what I'm basically saying.
One of the characters wearing a dress, I'm assuming?
No, not wearing anything, but shaped a certain way.
Okay.
Wait.
It's like voluptuous.
Okay. Very feminized, like very like snatched.
Okay.
It's so weird when they give characters like huge racks, and you're just like,
you want
why
to know
does like
ironic?
Tweety Bird look kind of like
so horny? Two things. First of all, my first TikTok ever that went mega viral was my first TikTok. Like I just put something that was on my Instagram story. My sister goes, "You need to download TikTok and post this on TikTok." I did. I didn't even have my notifications on. And then the next time I checked TikTok, it had 500,000 views. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was a mural that someone was painting in Bushwick. And it was Disney characters.
Classic, her fave.
Yeah, my fave. And they were doing Little Mermaid. And I think they drew the prince and they drew like the little lobster and whatever. And then all the way on the other side of the mural was Ariel. And it was a rack like you've never seen before. And it was like, I was like, oh, wow, Disney princess, Disney love story. And then I was like, whoa, those are some titties. And then it was just like 500,000 views.
Okay.
Anyway, to go back to Lopunny, which is this Pokemon that my friend who also plays Pokemon informed me that everybody in the world calls her Slim Thick.
Okay.
What?
And she had...
Slim Thick.
Yeah, Slim Thick. It's like, curvy
like
in the
slim.
best
No,
ways.
I know, but they call the Pokemon Slim Thick?
Because this specific Pokemon looks so, like, horny.
Okay.
Like,
Horny.
why is she so horny?
Do you mean horny like she's ready to have sex?
She's ready for it.
So they're they're over-sexualized characters? Because
Both.
it makes sense.
I think, from my perspective, she wants it.
Okay. Okay.
She's in pursuit.
Okay.
She's flirting.
Okay.
She's flirting.
She's flirty.
It's not just like she's wearing a dress and it's like
Well,
she's asking for it.
But
like she literally is like horned up, in my opinion.
That's why you have to compare that to like how sometimes men can be completely inappropriate because a woman wears a cool outfit.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
It's like,
Men will be like,
oh, she was ready for it.
Yeah, she wanted it. She was wearing a short skirt. No, not like that.
Okay.
Like Lopunny is standing there and you'd think that when I first looked at it, I had to take a double, triple take. I was like, why are her boobs like that?
Okay.
And I was like, and I realized they have her with wearing basically some kind of like cute little Eskimo fursuit where her arms are up and there's two pom-poms. Yeah. That look like
she's
okay,
like
thighs.
Thank you. First
she
of all,
is thick.
she's
too.
thick as fuck.
Yeah.
And look at how her arms look like they're her breasts
That's
exposed.
crazy. That's crazy.
So I think it's so nuts.
But
It
I
came
mean,
up-
it's also men that are drawing cartoons for the most
Exactly.
part, and then like we're humans, so we automatically like give everything either male or female parts or characteristics.
Right.
And
Yeah, but who's their target audience? That's the
Who-
real problem here.
Well, the
like,
funny thing is that
Yes.
all of the rest of the Pokemon, I cannot say there's another like sexy one, and there are hundreds. So that specific one like caught me completely off guard, and it reminded me that there are other like CD-ROMs and other like games and websites when I was young that like they had some horny characters.
Yeah.
I think the whole cartoon space in general, every cartoon will have Easter eggs of over-sexuality.
Yes.
Agreed.
Like from Disney to like every cartoon is like, okay, well, that's a little. I as a grown up, I heard what you said, and that's a little like, what's that?
Right.
And I mean, it's weird because like you put off these things that kids really wouldn't know. But as a grown up, if you're watching with your kid, you're like, oh, wait a minute. But I guess it's like we like those little Easter eggs. We like to be able to get over on somebody, like, or to have an inside joke or like the side story.
That's kind of true. I think we love an inside joke. That's like a good one. And I also think it makes it tolerable for parents who are not having like any type of interaction with anyone all day except their kids to like smile a little bit while like they're forced to watch this like insane thing.
That's what people said about Shrek.
Yeah.
That was like the first like big mainstream one that like had a lot of Easter eggs that were like pretty evident, that were like more adult/young adult jokes.
Yeah.
Even though it was very much for kids.
Very much.
I mean,
And
you have
people
now
would
like
say that they loved watching Shrek with their kids because it was actually fun for them too.
it made it where they didn't get the jokes, and I could still be like prude over here and not feel like I'm watching porn with my kid
like
or
Donkey,
watching something too adult, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Donkey says some out of pocket shit.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I don't even remember that, and I haven't like.
Okay, we're gonna
rewatched
rewatch
it.
tonight.
Oh, I think it's so many things. Like even before Shrek, before Shrek, there's like that grown ass, like Rocco's Modern Life.
Yes,
or
Rocko's
like,
Modern Life was really
Beavis and
sexual.
Butthead. Cat Dog was over sexualized.
Yeah.
Cat Dog was so
SpongeBob.
weird. Why
SpongeBob
weird.
is so sexual.
SpongeBob is so
Sandy
weird.
Cheeks, like that's her
Yes.
name.
Yeah.
Like,
Why is she
That's
so
so
sexualized?
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, and then you get over to like the Big Mouth on Netflix. Have you guys watched Big Mouth?
But that is more for an adult
that's an
audience.
adult
Just
audience.
adult.
Yeah.
Which I think is like why it's so funny, because it's playing on the fact that it's like openly kind of the same character stuff, but like instead of pretending it's not absolutely sexual and that these like horny teenagers in this cartoon world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they did with Barbie this time. Like you would think Barbie is going to be a movie for kids just because what Barbie is, but it's a grown ass movie.
It's so true.
Yeah. And we
like
love
to the point where they casted sex symbols to other adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not. I mean, it was like this isn't for kids at all.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's actually not.
And
yeah.
who knew? Who
I
knew?
think it would fly totally over kids' heads.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You want to make it like that. That's the problem kind of with music now. Like music is just too blatant. Before it was a bit more like illustrated where like
crazy.
We're not saying the explicit words.
Yeah.
We're painting a picture that only you know how to like navigate it if you've been there or if you're at a certain level of maturity.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
when you
think
say
of-
the words like my coochie pink, my booty hole brown, it's like boom.
It's attention grabbing.
It's attention grabbing.
It
And
is.
it's also like,
Or
oh,
rock.
that's what it is. I don't have to say a voluptuous hind end. Like,
Right.
like
Yep.
Or like the
it's-
candy shop.
yeah.
Or like milkshake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it
That's
was a
so
different.
It was a lot more painted pictures than
It
like
was.
here's
All
the
the boys to the
explicit.
yard.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem, like, and
One
which
of the
makes me
greatest
feel
songs.
like low key, like I'm a conservative now because we don't have those two different places of existence. Now it's all right there on Instagram and TikTok. Before you had to like have a computer or like to be in those spaces, like you had to know which radio stations to listen to get those like more explicit versions. Now it's like, oh shit, we all here together at the party. So you got kids dancing on TikTok to the song, to the explicit thing, and it's just like,
Oh, to like the Ice Spice songs. Like
yeah.
it's not
wild. It gets wild. But here we are. That's progression, right?
Yeah.
That's progression.
but I love it.
I do love it because it's not like like traditional structureship.
Yeah.
Totally.
So the more unreasonable things exist, my unreasonable thing can exist and your unreasonable thing can exist, and as well as everybody's, and we just expect unreasonable things across the board, except rather than just like white man's unreasonable things being acceptable.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I remember I felt like I was shocking back in the day, like using a word like pussy weed and being like women and weed. And now I feel like I'm one of the most prude people in this fucking industry. Like, and it's pretty crazy. And that's like very cool to see
Yes.
how far, but protect the kids.
Protect the kids. And also fuck them kids.
Fuck
So-
them kids. I would
both. Like,
like,
equally both.
the duality of man.
The duality of
like,
man. You can rock out with your cock out, but you can also tone it down.
Pull your pants up.
you could also put your wee wee away.
Both. Because I don't.
Okay. So the other day we were talking about fruits, literally. And we realized collectively that coconuts are actually, you can't cross or breed them with anything.
And then you also discovered who you were telling us that plums are the original breeder.
Yeah,
They're like the baby daddy to all the different.
No, yeah, they have to be involved. They don't have to be the baby daddy. They're at least, there could be a three-way.
What?
As long as a plum is involved.
What is this even like?
So,
I'm
you know,
kids.
I just found this out the other day from Pixie Sticks, the hash paper brand.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that basically in all stone fruit, like so apricots, plums, cherries, nectarines, peaches,
Okay.
they can all be crossed with one another so long as a plum is involved.
Okay.
So an apricot and a plum is a pluot.
Oh yeah, I love pluots. I was just gonna ask that you guys heard of pluots. I
Yep.
had no
Yeah.
idea it was apricot and plum.
Mm-hmm. And then I think there's plumot, which I think is also an apricot and plum, but a different ratio.
And
like
there's
60-40 or some shit.
Yeah. Tammy told me that there's like
Aprion.
60 different varieties of pluots.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow, so they must just take it and like do
It's a
different
farmer's
percentages
market
every time.
in like Orange County where you can go and there's like 60 different varieties of pluots.
Well,
I
I don't
wanna
know if
try
you know
that
this,
bad.
but California is like the
I would love
leader
to.
We should
in
go.
fruit breeding.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like
'Cause
that's
I like
why
good
you're
old
seeing
fashioned fruits. I didn't even know that there was like fruit breeding.
until I came to
Oh, I love
California,
it.
I had never seen all these like apricot. But I didn't even know there were this many types of like peaches and oranges. Like,
Mhm.
Just give me the regular.
I was like,
good old Georgia peach.
hello, I just want fruit.
I do like cuties.
What's that? Oh, the little mint. I
Yes,
love
I
those.
love
I used to be like known for bringing like a bag of cuties to a party or to a sesh.
I
I
love
brought mangoes
those.
to sessions before.
Really?
Like, I
Yeah.
love
I
mango.
a
love a mango.
fucking cold mango is
Like a cold
nothing
mango.
else.
But do you
Give me-
bring it sliced?
I know.
I mean,
I'll
I'll bring
go
a whole
feral.
mango.
I'll go feral. It
I'll
doesn't
bite
matter.
into a mango and then there will be nothing but the pure seed left. Like,
You eat the skin?
I don't eat the skin, but I
But
do
you
like.
suck it dry.
I
Like
do
an,
suck it.
I love that.
like an artichoke. Like you
Yeah.
eat it with your teeth
With
like
your
an
teeth.
artichoke.
You bleed it with your teeth, and like it's just so good.
I
a
love mango life and mango culture.
Yeah, I'm here for mangoes 100%. It's
I
like
literally-
paradise. It's the perfect taste. Like
No,
Yeah.
it's literally the perfect taste.
Yeah.
I agree.
I had a conversation with someone who didn't like a mango, and I was just like, and ironically, they worked for a fruit cart, and I was like, I'm gonna call the authorities because you shouldn't even be working here.
That's crazy.
Like mango, and you.
You don't like mango.
He said
My boyfriend doesn't like
the
mango.
taste was fleshy, and I'm like, whatever.
Maybe he doesn't know how to pick them.
I was like, whatever, because it's low key true, but also it's
It's true, but only
Yeah, like,
if
it's
you're
not
Depends on where
bad
it's at.
fleshy.
yeah, it's not
So
it's
eat
not like
them unripened.
asparagus.
There you go.
It's not like stringy like asparagus.
There you go.
It's
It's
better.
not stringy like asparagus.
But
No.
my
I
best
enjoyed the
friend
getting
growing
mango
up-
strings out of my teeth
Me
after
too.
the fact.
Yeah.
Like that's low key fun.
It's worth it. It's part of the process. It's part of the ritual of mango eating.
Agreed.
I fucking love a good mango.
Yeah. Do you guys believe the hype of the mango increasing your high?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
I
just
do.
talking about this. I don't, but Sarah does.
Okay.
She also doesn't believe in CBD. So
in CBD
I
at
do and she
all,
doesn't.
or like CBD. You
don't-
remember like Roberta and the CBD incident at the
Oh my
at
god,
the
that
party?
was
I
so
always think
funny. That
about
was so cute.
Yeah, that was really cute. Somebody had overdosed on Tempo crackers, low key, and not
Uh-huh.
overdosed, like just
Just
had a
like-
few.
She took too
She thought
many,
that they
more
were.
than she
She
wanted
thought
to.
that
Yeah.
the medicated samples were non-medicated, so it was like, boom, boom, boom. And I had some CBD drops in my bag or my box at the time.
And she was working the event.
Yeah.
So she was like, I can't be
she
like,
wanted to be more
yeah.
conscious.
she thought, she was like, I want to be able to like
Yeah,
do my stuff.
So did it work?
she said it worked.
But it was so funny. She was like,
So how about that,
she was like,
Natasha?
Roger.
yeah,
No.
she like I love Roberta. She loves me now because of that life-saving moment.
I'm
But I don't
so
know if it
happy.
worked.
It was
or not.
incredible.
Well, I mean, if she's saying it worked, I believe that it worked.
I think it worked because she wanted it to. I also think that I don't not believe in CBD. I don't believe in the effectiveness of most of the products on the market.
Okay,
Agreed.
100%.
Okay,
Like,
agreed.
100%.
Fair.
I think there's a whole
bailout.
lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
Good
No,
bailout.
but I do agree scientifically that the chemical is there is therapeutic benefit to this that needs to be investigated.
100%. It blows my mind.
The bullshit brands,
Bullshit.
it literally kills me to my core because there are
Yeah.
actual patients who think that this is going to help them.
Yeah.
Yep.
It blows my mind. Like I have, I use the device and I'll put CBD flower in there with coconut oil and I'll make a basic thing and then I'll use that with like other things to make a balm and like
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
have hella people in the South that are just like they can't wait for me to get back there so I can make more. They
I just
swear.
said this
and
the other
I'm
day.
making I don't understand. Like I've never felt bad enough to need this type of relief.
Yep.
But like
And
these
that's
people
a
that need
blessing.
it, they swear it. And I'm like, are you sure? And I'll do like different regiments, different flour, and they swear by it every time. Like, can I get some more? And they like every time. It blows my mind. So
My mom literally tells all her friends, she'll like go upstate and talk to all her friends and be like, all right, I have 4 orders for you. She's like, I let them try the ones that you make me for every night because I make my mom take like 40 milligrams CBD every single night.
Okay.
And she'll double up sometimes, but I do it just basically as like a daily vitamin. Like I tell her to do it just because I'm like, you know, if it's good for inflammation, you get the best thing. She says it helps her sleep. So it's like 2 for 1. She's taking her daily vitamin at night.
Yep. Go ahead.
And like, I just, because of that, she'll tell her friends like, oh, try some. And then she's like, they'll just ask her like 2 nights later, like, please, can she make me capsules? So I do like a lot of like, I'm sure similarly to you, like mutual aid with like making CBD products for people, like for salves and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'll make it. I just need to get more cocoa butter and shea butter and coconut oil and like I just exactly. I'm like, let me just like make sure I have everything, and then like. A few months later happens all over again and you're out. It blows
my mind because like I just, to me it's putting something that's not even weed. It's hemp, and it's putting hemp in the device, and like I mean just
watching it come out,
putting it out. I tell my mom too every day, take it every day, be preventative, don't be reactive,
exactly.
Be proactive. Like so take it almost like your multivitamin. It's pretty much like WD-40 for our bodies.
That's what I say too.
To keep you on your flow, and it's
I love that.
I don't understand it, but I see it work time and time again.
That I don't disagree with. Like I've seen it work wonders on people.
Yeah,
I just think there's a tighter
regulations.
Yeah, there's
more
a lot
research.
of misinformation, and I find it really disrespectful when it comes to any type of consumption that is like internal. It's going in your fucking body. Like nothing drives me crazier than these lattes with like an additional $6. You get a CBD shot, and I'm like, this is not
it's 5 milligrams of isolate.
This is not wellness.
Yes, 100%.
Just maybe skip the coffee and have the tea instead. It'll have the better effect.
There you go.
It's so true.
And drink like a chug of huge water. It'll do wonders. Like please drink water.
Yes. When you say you don't believe it in that regards, I completely agree.
I'm with you as well.
It puts a bad taste in your mouth.
I agree. And this, I mean, that matriculates over to cannabis as well.
The same. And it's now becoming that. And it's the Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta bullshit.
Yeah, you're playing on
Delta
people's
10.
like desire to want better, and you're giving them what's actually worse,
which is just the biggest scam.
Yes, it's
and
hypocrisy.
We already live in a scam.
Yeah,
if someone passes me a product or gives me a product and it has Delta 8 or Delta 9 in it, hemp derived, like I will probably not ever consume anything with them again.
Yeah.
Because 100%. I really just won't feel safe because I just don't feel like, I think that's something right now in weed that needs to be disclosed.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, if you're going to do weed, but don't do that gas station stuff.
Yes.
Don't do the stuff at like the people are trying to make money off of people's desire to like really find like what this plant can do. And especially in these non-regulated markets or places that don't have legal weed, it's hard because they want to do what's right, and they're people that are not right. They get the opportunity to just pop up a CBD dispensary, or they are even more convenient. The stuff the gas stations. I don't know if you guys have been to the South, but like gas stations in the South, they have just like the horny goat weed, the honey, the ginseng, and then it's so much CBD gummies, all this other stuff. Delta 8, Delta 10 gummies and flour. And I tell people, you don't know what this is. Like hemp is cool. If it's just like some full spectrum hemp from a farm, absolutely. You know the local farm, you can see that. If it's local to your space, get that. But the gummies, like you don't have anybody regulating any of this
what's
stuff.
in it? Where did their material come from?
That's the thing. It's like you can probably have a clean. You maybe can have a clean initial product that they get, but there's nobody regulating anything that they're doing.
Yep.
So stay away. Like they could literally be doing like they have like 1,500 milligram like Delta 10 gummies and like that my uncles are getting, and I'm just like, don't do that, because like it's pretty much like when they started cutting cocaine down to crack. You don't know what's going in there to just make you feel that alive.
And
there's
I will
a different
say,
half-life.
like I blame a lot of social media influencers as well for
Mhm.
this. Like on TikTok, I see a lot of people who aren't disclosing that the product that they're talking about, and they're saying like legal high and
Mhm.
like legal feeling, all this stuff. And you click, and I always click because I want to see like the ingredients. Like, show
Mhm.
me your ingredient list. And then I see it, and I'm like, it's the fucking hemp derived THC.
Mhm.
Like, this is not true. You're lying, and you're reckless, because I also don't trust you to know what you're doing. You just like are drop shipping stuff.
And like you should also like like this is important to say because of New York's situation right now, where
Yeah.
there are some legal dispensaries, but there are some illegal dispensaries, and consumers are having a hard time differentiating what's different from the other. So there are
Mhm.
people who are trying to do the right thing by like finding regulated cannabis, and like they're trying to rule follow in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, not that all regulated cannabis is
Even though
great.
it's right. Even
Because
though it's wrong.
yeah, because I think regulated cannabis, there's a lot wrong with it.
Yeah.
And like it's not necessarily always the cleanest or the best quality or the
Agreed.
most ethical in terms of how people are paid throughout the supply chain. But like what I will say is that if you're buying your bud from something that's like akin to like a smoke shop or like a bodega, you should be disclosing that when you sesh with other people in New York.
100%.
That's like, it's almost guaranteed that something that you have is sprayed with something really, really bad for your body otherwise. Like in the way that like, okay, maybe it's like super old shit that like was survived outdoor wildfires in California and is shipped super cheap and sold very, very cheaply. And that's like carcinogenic essentially.
Yeah.
You know, so like I think it's very important to disclose where you're getting it from if it's not an extremely reliable source, I would say.
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like it's bad because people are all banding together like to create all these brands that are just loopholes instead of banding together to change the law. Because we just need federal legality, because it's just like all these like random venture capital white guys who like went to some fancy school and are like, I'm gonna start a Delta 8 and Delta 9 brand because it's legal weed. It is not.
It's
and
not.
stop. I'm okay. And stop promoting it as such, and stop like. It isn't putting patients and consumers first.
No, it's just getting money.
It's just putting money first.
Yeah, 100%.
And people, and that's why I don't totally write off the extra legal market, because sometimes they really, like in the more flavor chasing community, they really do put the consumer first a lot of the time.
100%.
And so that's why people are gravitating towards that. The problem is it's really hard, and it like is obviously access is limited, and
it's hard to like literally get past the legal parameters without you know, sacrificing some of the quality of your brand. I think they make it nearly impossible to afford both.
Exactly.
In most legal states.
They can't
so
exist
it's like,
together. It's
like a systemic issue. But we could get into that another day. One more thing I just wanted to talk to you about really quick was like your favorite cookie. Like the cookies, not that like you would make necessarily, but the ones that you grab from a box at the grocery store. What's your all-time favorite boxed cookie?
My all-time favorite boxed cookie, I guess I would have to say, like, if I can go OG and more recently, OG, my favorite would be an oatmeal cream pie, if that counts as a boxed cookie.
What, like a Little Debbie's?
Like the Little Debbie's. And I know that that's not what you're talking about as a boxed cookie.
No, it's that one. Yeah, that's a boxed cookie.
But it's a boxed
Does it count as a cookie? I would kind of classify it as a cake.
No, it's a cookie.
It's kind of a cake.
Is a whoopie pie a cookie?
Is an Oreo Cakester a cookie?
No, it's a cake.
Yeah. But I would say golden Oreos.
Oh.
You like golden Oreos?
Yeah, I don't like Oreos.
Oh, you don't really like chocolate,
I don't
right?
like chocolate.
Yeah, I know.
But you like Lorna Doone, you said.
You like Lorna Doone?
Right?
Those are what I would call Snackwells. Is that what we were saying?
Snackwells,
Yeah.
right. I don't remember. Are Snackwells the same as Lorna Doone?
The snack wells that I know are like a golden cracker with vanilla cream and another golden cracker. So pretty much a golden Oreo,
But oblong.
but oblong. Yeah, oblong. Yeah.
All right.
But
I see the Snackwell's creme sandwich.
that's it.
Okay.
That's the snack well
yes,
that I know.
I remember snack
I
wells.
remember
That's why I was
these.
like, and I had those recently. My uncle has some on his table.
Yes,
So
I
they
remember
exist
these.
still.
Yeah.
And it was like just sugar, basically, the
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
golden Oreo.
Yeah,
you
Golden
know,
Oreo.
Is that what the
Yes.
golden Oreo tastes like?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
I should try that. I
It's-
kind of
it's
like
good.
it.
I like it.
What about Nilla wafers?
I
Love.
like in banana pudding. Like
In
I
banana
wouldn't
pudding.
just like have
Yeah,
vanilla
but does it
wafers.
have? You know how there? Oh my god, this is incredible. There are certain cookies that have a singular purpose, and other than their purpose, are not that tasty. Like the Nilla wafer, only for banana pudding.
Another good use for a Nilla wafer though is dipping in cookie butter. It's like cookie on cookie.
Okay.
But also the graham cracker
Oh, that's
out of
what this is
s'mores or out of like a pie crust,
Thank you.
kind of useless.
What out of?
A graham cracker,
I hate graham crackers.
but
Yeah,
in a
crust.
s'more or
Give
a
me
crust.
a cinnamon though. I like a cinnamon graham cracker on a s'more. I don't want a regular graham cracker on a s'more because
No, I'll take a cinnamon. I'll always turn it up that extra flavor
Yeah.
level.
It's literally the
Flavor
same price
chase.
with
Yeah.
for the flavor
Yeah.
one.
That's almost like saying that you will take a dip, like a chip dip, and you'll dip a non-original chip into the dip. Like I'll take a Dorito and put that in
Yeah.
a dip.
Hmm.
I don't need original.
See, and
Flavor
I don't.
chase it.
You, to me, ideally, I'm an original chip guy. Like, give me a plain Lay's, give me a sea salt, give me a plain Ruffle, like any of those wavy Lay's, plain. All of those are my favorites, and so those are really open to dips. But last night I tried the sweet chili.
Aren't they so
chip
good?
the Dorito for the
Doritos.
first time. I mean, you saw me. I was just like.
I mean, yeah, I
insane.
saw you. The bag is empty this
I
morning.
was like in there. I could not stop because I was also having an experience of a party monster. So I just
Same. You saw me with the
a sesh
Cheetos,
monster. I was just like, well, I can at least have chips while this person talks.
and it was the best chips. I think the chips
You're
probably
like-
tasted better because of
Yeah,
her.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm gonna eat these chips while my neck gets sucked. I'm gonna get the blood sucked out of me.
here we go. Just like fill me up while you drain me. It's all
On
bad.
that note, thank you for joining us for another episode of Not For Nothing. You could find the podcast at Not For Nothing. And special thanks to our guest, Roger, aka Ganja Guru. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Ganja Guru 2 on Instagram and ganjaguruofficial.com.
Natasha, where can they find you?
You can follow me at Natasha PRZ or Pussyweed.
Thanks. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Can't wait.